Hey guys, it's Cellian here, and with Smash Ultimate just on the horizon, I want to talk about potential new characters for the game. Before we jump into the newcomers, let's discuss Echo Fighters. I'll be going through these guys in the order that the fighters are based off of enter the series. Now without further ado, let's begin. First up is my boy Nenten, which I think would make an excellent addition. Being the protagonist of the first Mother game, now released in the West as Earthbound Beginnings, I think it's about time he joined the roster. He would fit right over Ness as an Echo and make every Mother protagonist playable in Smash, which I think would be really cool. Also, Magican is from Mother 1, Bonette is from Mother 2, and New Pork City is from Mother 3, meaning if Nenten joined, every Mother character will already have a home stage. Next up is an Echo for Captain Falcon. Ever since Smash 64, he's been the lone representative of the F-Zero series. With Echo Fighters, I think a second F-Zero rep chances are pretty high. Now, I'm not sure who would that be. My guess would be Black Shadow, the antagonist of the F-Zero series. It would make perfect sense with the hero versus villain theme Ultimate's going for. He would play like Falcon, except maybe a little slower and stronger like Ganon. On the other hand, I could see Sakurai opting for Blood Falcon as an Echo, which would be extremely easy to do with little to no change. Either way, I'll be happy as long as we get a new F-Zero fighter. Now, Snake is the main character of the Metal Gear series. However, he is the main character in just as many games as Big Boss is. That's why I think Big Boss has a solid chance of becoming an Echo. He could pass with just some cosmetic changes, like giving him an eye patch and a sneaking suit from Snake Eater. Then maybe changing his up special to the balloon he uses to recruit troops. Also, he was the final boss in the original Metal Gear, going back to the hero versus villain thing. Now, who else would be better to put in Smash Ultimate than the ultimate lifeform himself, Shadow the Hedgehog? His assist trophy has been completely absent from any of the trailers or directs, leaving many to believe he's going to be an Echo of Sonic. This makes too much sense to not be true. I've been a huge Sonic fan for a long time, and now the Hedgehog Shadow has always been one of my favorite characters. For his implementation in Smash, I'll imagine he'll play just like Sonic, but be slower and skinnier with his hover shoes and maybe do flame damage on his kicks. He'll probably change one of his specials, either up B to Mewtwo's teleport or side B to Rod's laser. In Pikmin 2, Louie was Captain Olimar's right-hand man, until he got kidnapped, that is. He even made an appearance in Pikmin 3 on the Wii U, so the character should be recognizable enough to be an Echo. However, there is a bit of a problem in this idea, and that is Alf, the protagonist of Pikmin 3. The issue being in Smash 4, he was a costume for Olimar despite being a completely separate character. So when Ultimate came around, it would only make sense to make him an Echo, like Daisy to Peach. The thing is, that just didn't happen for whatever reason. It could have just been the same as Olimar, but using Rock Pikmin in some way. So this would lead me to believe that Sakurai's attention is pretty far from the Pikmin series at this point in development, so I seriously doubt, as neat as it would be, that Louie will be an Echo fighter. I think Miss Pac-Man should be an Echo fighter for Pac-Man. She'd be really easy to implement. Putting a bow and some makeup on Pac-Man's model can't be that hard. Now, I know some of you are going to point out that she is in the background of the worst Smash Bros. Stages Pac-Man, which I still find it hard to believe it made it into Ultimate. But anyways, I think that can be easily fixed by just removing her sprite or having Gonzo take over like he does on the Spirit Train stage. You can't tell me you don't want to see Gonzo waiting for you nice and pretty when you get home.
That was a joke, by the way.
When you think of the most well-known video game clone, who do you think of? No, not Luigi, Ken from Street Fighter, the original fighting game clone. He can easily be an Echo of Ryu, and I guarantee you he definitely is going to be an Ultimate. His model was already in Smash 4 as a trophy, so it can't be that hard to rig him to Ryu's animations, give him a voiceover, some custom taunts, and a kick instead of a punch like it was in Street Fighter 4, for his down special. Honestly, if Ken isn't an Ultimate, that'd be really surprising. Like Snake, Cloud is also a clone of another character, Zack Fair, Cloud's best friend and heir's love interest. Although he wasn't playable in Final Fantasy VII, he was playable in Crisis Core on the PSP, which was the prequel to Final Fantasy VII. Now, Zack isn't very recognizable, so I doubt he'll make the cut, but if he did, it'd be pretty funny if his forward air was OP. Get it? Now, I don't have much to say here, except I can see Jean from Bayonetta being an Echo in Ultimate. She plays just like Bayonetta, minus a few mild changes. And she was referenced in an alt color for Bayonetta on Smash Wii U/3DS. That said, I hate Bayonetta enough, so I don't want to see another one, so I'll just end this bit here. So recently, Splatoon 2 released the Octo expansion, which lets you play as Octolings, which are basically Inklings, just more octopus-like. They're also in the original Splatoon as enemies you fight in the campaign, so they've been around for a while. The playstyle could be identical to the Inklings, but maybe with a different type of splatter gun or roller. Considering the success of the Splatoon series, I can see this one happening. And that's it, guys. That's all my Echo Fighter choices for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, with all that taken care of, I think it's about time we jumped into, I think what we're all hoping for, the newcomers. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. Saki, the human ruffian hybrid from Sin and Punishment, has been an assist trophy since Brawl, and in Ultimate, I hope he gets the promotion he deserves. In this game, Saki relies on his laser gun sword to fight off enemies with a unique mechanic that lets you toggle between two gun types, manual and auto. So for his playstyle, I think he'll be an all-rounder, using moves similar to all variants of the Mii fighters. For his specials, he can use the different shooting types. For example, Saki's neutral special can be a lock-on shot, where he stands still for a second and moves the cursor on screen until he locks onto the target or cancels. Then he fires his weapon at whomever he tags while being free to move around the battlefield. His side special then would be a barrage of lasers that do more damage but can only be angled in a 45-degree arc. Saki's down special then can be the Reflect Slash, dealing damage to any nearby opponents and reflecting projectiles. His up special is a bit up in the air for me. He can do a basic jump slash, or have him utilize the hover equipment that his son uses on the sequel. But now what I'm most excited for is his final smash, where Saki transforms into his ruffian form and does a powerful off-screen punch. This can be a carbon copy of Bowser's final smash, since we know that Ultimate is going to reuse some final smashes between fighters, like Donkey Kong and Little Max or Ridley's and K-Rool's. But that's not all. I think that Saki's partner, Aaron, would be an Echo Fighter. They play identical to one another. The only change that couldn't be cosmetic would have to be the final smash, since Aaron doesn't have a ruffian form. Instead, giving her something like Samus's final smash will do. My hype train doesn't stop there though. Both of them can have all costumes. Saki's being his hybrid form and Aaron's being her uniform. Then I imagined their stage would be based off the naval level, where you fight on a floating platform, with planes sometimes coming through and acting as additional platforms. Now, I can see all my hype for this character being for naught though, since Sin and Punishment is criminally underrated. Like, seriously, if you're a fan of Star Fox or Kid Icarus or rail shooters in general, get this game. You won't be disappointed. Now, that's all I've got for Saki, so here's hoping he makes it into Smash, and now let's move on to our next fighter. Venus Adept Isaac from Golden Sun is currently mine, as well as many others, most wanted character for Ultimate. Now, Isaac's case is a bit of an oddity. In Brawl, he was an assist trophy that was removed to Smash Wii U/3DS, giving hope that he'd become a playable character, but lo and behold, that didn't happen. Now with Ultimate, he finally has his chance to stand in the sun. For his playstyle, he'd be a bit like Robin using a sword and magic to attack, but being a very positional fighter, relying on his utility synergy to set up for his more powerful Venus synergy. For example, his basic attacks and aerials could all be sword strikes, with the exception of his up tilt and down air, which can be Punji and Spire respectively. Then, all of Isaac's grabs can be different utility synergy. Grab can, be grab. Forward throw can be force, using whoever is caught as a projectile. Back throw can be scoop. Down throw can be pound, which buries fighters on the stage. And up throw can be lift. These can be used to set up into his smash attacks, like Mace Strike for his forward smash, Thorns for his down smash, and the powerful Gaia for his up smash. Isaac's specials would then consist of Ragnarok for his neutral special, summoning a giant energy sword to slam into the stage at an angle. The signature move for a forward special, knocking back all who come into contact with it. Quake for a down special, knocking foes in the impact radius upwards. Then Growth for an up special, creating a temporary plant platform from off stage that works kind of like Brag's up special from Rivals of Aether. Now, there are several options for his final smash, but I think the best option has to be Megiddo, the critical hit from the most powerful weapon in the game, Soul Blade, where the user jumps up and launches a mini stun at their foes. Also, like Saki, I think Isaac has potential for an Echo fighter as well. That is Felix, Isaac's rival and protagonist to the sequel Golden Sun: The Lost Age. Felix is a Venus user as well, so they both have the same moves, so any changes would be minor or cosmetic. Like his forward smash could be an axe strike instead of a mace strike, or he could turn into sand for one of his rolls. Then your stage would have to be Venus Lighthouse. A modder by the name of Llama Juice made a hack for Brawl with the stage, and it's exactly how I'd want it to play. So I won't go into detail here. Instead, if you're interested at all, I'll put a link to his video in the description. The one thing I will say is that this stage better have a bunch of killer Golden Sun mixes. If this stage or Isaac makes it into the game at all. But from what I've seen from the Smash polls, Isaac is consistently voted for and is very popular, so I think his chances are pretty high of making it into the game. Now with all that said, let's move on to our next fighter. Red Flash, Dylan, first started his own game on the 3DS back in 2012. Since then, he's had two sequels. The most recent, Dead Heat Breakers, came out this year. Taking this into account, and his assist trophy status in the previous Smash installment, I would say he has a good shot at becoming playable in Ultimate. For his playstyle, I'd imagine he'd play similar to Sonic, but have a more emphasis on his claws for his aerial and smash attacks. For his specials, Neutral could utilize his Armor mode. It can work like Little Mac's KO meter, where once Dylan gets enough charge, he can activate it to briefly enhance his stats. For his side special, Dylan could burrow into the ground and come up beneath another fighter like Greninja's Shadow Sneak, but slower and applying shield pressure. Down special would obviously be the signature roll, and up special would call Dylan's partner Russ to fly him up. Then Dylan's final smash would be Bow of Armido, where Dylan gets launched like an arrow and destroys anyone who's unlucky enough to be in his path. Additionally, Dylan could get a costume based on his Dead Heat Breakers appearance. Then the series' home stage could be a western frontier, where fighters duke it out by a village under siege by Grox, with occasional train passing through and cannon fire that would have to be dodged. They can also integrate a day-night cycle into the stage like they did with Guard Plain, where during the evenings that's when Grox attacked, thus making the battlefield very hectic. That about rounds up all I have to say for Dylan, so let's move on to the next fighter. Majora's Mask has been my favorite Zelda game for some time, and the game's villain, Skull Kid, is one of my all-time favorite characters. He's also the most recognizable Zelda character outside the main Triforce trio, and considering The Legend of Zelda is one of Nintendo's biggest franchises, yet we haven't had a real Zelda newcomer since Melee, Skull Kid seems like a good fit for the roster. The real problem is his implementation, since in Majora's Mask, he doesn't actually fight. Instead, he lets his fairies do any of the dirty work. Except for this potential back air, that is. Skull Kid acts more as a medium for the true villain, Majora, to unleash its power. So his playstyle should reflect this, by making him a glass cannon. For example, his basic attacks are weak, acting only as a combo starter, while Paddle and Tail can help with some of them. The animation for these moves could be quick and fake outish, making them hard to read, reflecting the Skull Kid's childish demeanor. But then this could be sharply contrasted by his smash attacks, where Majora lashes out with its tendrils to do devastating strikes. His specials can rely on the mask's power as well, neutral being the laser beam it uses in the first phase of the boss fight. Side special can be the dark energy orbs it uses in the second phase. And for his down special, I'd pull from his Twilight Princess appearance where he pulls a puppet to attack, similar to Zelda's down special. His up special could just be a basic teleport. Lastly, since the mood is an assist trophy, I'd imagine his final smash would be Majora's Curse, where the Skull Kid uses the mask's ancient power to turn his foes into helpless Deku Scrubs. This can work similar to Peach's final smash, where she puts her opponents to sleep, or since Sakurai wants all final smashes to be quick and to the point, it could just be a giant AoE blast like it is in Hyrule Warriors. Now since Great Bay is already in Ultimate, there isn't any need for a new stage, but I'd just like to say that Clock Town would be a really cool stage if one just happened to be added. Also, please make this a taunt. Alright, and those are all the fighters that I think stand a chance that were previously assist trophies. So now let's move into the all-new, highly requested characters. Dixie Kong has always been a popular request for Smash Bros, so it should come as no surprise to see her on this list. Now some of you might be wondering why I put her here and not with the Echoes, and this is because after seeing Isabelle's treatment, I think Dixie would fit more of a clone than an Echo. Since her hair is such a prominent aspect in her design, it would only make sense to create some moves off of it. And her up special I imagine would be pretty unique. You could argue that they could reuse DK's up special, but with all the changes that would have to be made, I see them making a new move altogether. Also, Dixie never used a peanut pop gun, so it'd probably have to be changed to her shooting bubblegum or something. Then in Donkey Kong Country 2, she also uses her hair as a grab, so that would probably have to be taken into account as well. Other than that, I can see lots of her other moves being very close to Diddy's. I'm doubtful of a new stage, so if she does get added, I'm hoping for tons of musical arrangements from the Donkey Kong Country 2 soundtrack, which is the best on the SNES, rivaled only by Chrono Trigger. I have a strong feeling that Dixie will be playable considering her popularity and the fact that she was in the most recent Donkey Kong game, Tropical Freeze. Plus, I love rare characters, so I'll be happy to see another one join, even if it is as an Echo. Speaking of rare characters, I think it's about time a certain mammal-bird duo joins the fray that's not Duck Hunt. That's right, Banjo-Kazooie. They were considered for Melee but didn't make it in due to the impending deal Rare was making with Microsoft at the time. But considering Nintendo's and Microsoft's relationship right now, I think that the stars have aligned for Banjo to finally be in Smash Bros. playstyle can be that of a high mobility all-rounder, and they have tons of attacks to pull from for their basics. To name a few, jab could be a barrack boss swipe, forward tilt could be a peck, and dash could be a roll. Some of their aerials could be rat-a-tap grab for a forward air and beak buster for a down air. Also, regal dash would make a nice forward smash. For their specials, neutral could be egg shot, forward can be beak bomb, down can be beak barge, a strong shield breaking move, and up would obviously be feathered flight, an excellent recovery option. Then, for their final smash, Banjo and Kazooie could call upon the aid of Jinjonator, mightiest of all Jinjos, to finish their opponent. Their stage would have to be the iconic Spiral Mountain, and maybe Grunty could make an appearance and throw some magic on the battlefield or something. Anyways, Banjo feels really overdue for Smash Bros, so I'll be super hyped if he's included. Now, on to our next fighter. Super Mario RPG's Geno has always been a bit of an oddity, since he was only playable in one spin-off game, yet has had enormous fan support over the years. In Smash Wii U/3DS, he was given special treatment for his Mii costume when it was revealed, and Sakurai himself even mentioned that he had considered Geno as a character at one point. He wasn't included in previous Smash installations considering that the character was owned by Square Enix, but now that Cloud is in the game, and the leaks have foretold of a new Square character, Geno's chances are looking really high. His basic attacks would consist of him firing his arms and pellets at fighters. Then his specials could be Geno Beam for a neutral, a chargeable laser that could hit multiple fighters. His forward special could be Geno Whirl, a high damage disc projectile that only hits a single fighter. Down special could be Geno Boost, giving a temporary buff after a short channel duration. And up special could be Geno Blast, where he propels himself upwards with a rainbow of energy beams striking foes below him. Then for his final smash, it would have to be Geno Flash, where Geno will do a Bastion-like transformation into a cannon and fire a huge blast. Personally, I have nothing against Geno, I just think he's a bit of an odd pick for Smash. However, if you're a supporter of the character, I recommend you check out Lava Latte's mod of him for Brawl. He really does the character justice. The last popular character that was being requested around the time of the ballot is Bandana Waddle Dee. He was a character that usually just made small appearances until Kirby's Return to Dreamland, when he or she became playable, and was given moves based off the new Spear ability. The Spear ability can be used for the bulk of his basic attacks, like his jab, tilts, and aerials. Then perhaps he could also use abilities that other members of the Waddle family use, like Parasol and Beam, to round out his moveset for things like his dash attack and throws. Then his specials can be a mix of the three abilities. For example, his neutral special could be the Wave Beam, tap the button to cast an Energy Whip, or hold it to fire an Energy Blast. Side special, Bandana Dee could use the Spear Throw. Down special could then be Parasol Shield, which acts as a reflector. Then his up special would have to be Spear Copter, a strong recovery that would prevent any characters from spiking him off stage. With the moves that I listed, I imagined his playstyle would consist of a quick single-hit attacks that can lead into longer multi-hit attacks, with his key weakness not having any strong kill moves, so he'd have to edgeguard to secure KOs. Now, you might have noticed I neglected to mention his final smash, and that's because I had to save possibly the best final smash ever for last, and that would be none other than King Dedede's old final smash.
The Big Gay Dance!
Now, before I end this video, I wanted to cover two more fighters that came out after the ballot, so I don't really know where they are in terms of likelihood, and I don't know enough about them to make a full segment on them, so I'll just get into them with a quick summary. The first is a Gen 7 Pokemon, most likely Incineroar, since that's where the leaks have been pointing. Now, I haven't really been into Pokemon since Gen 4, so I don't know what his moves would be, other than that he'd most likely be a heavyweight grappler with fire and dark moves. I personally prefer the Decidueye since I think an aerial archer would be more unique, but it's whatevers. Now, the last newcomer who I think has a plausible chance is Rex from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Again, haven't played this game either, but from what I've seen and heard, Rex turns anime chicks into weapons like Soul Eater, or something similar to that. So I could see a bit of a uniqueness to his playstyle, maybe having a way to change out between the two main side characters, Pyra and Mithra, to change up the playstyle, like Shulk in his Minato arts. Now, I know all these characters aren't going to make it into the game, probably just a handful, but anyways, I'm really excited for the direct that's going to come out tomorrow. So let me know in the comments who are you most looking forward to and who you think is going to make it in. And with that, I'll wish you adieu.